When the well's dry, we know the worth of water. Welcome to Coffee with Alain. Appreciate all of you listening, watching, sharing, commenting. Thank you to everybody. Appreciate you joining live. Appreciate you listening to replays or the podcast. Saw this quote by Benjamin Franklin. When the well's dry, we know the worth of water. Drinking out of a Penn Dad cup today. Why? Well, Ben Franklin started the University of Pennsylvania, where my daughter's going to school. And I like that quote. When the well's dry, we know the worth of water, because sometimes we forget the worth of things when we have them in abundance. Then when we lose them for whatever reason, we realize how important it really is. We need to appreciate things a little bit more. We need to prepare sometimes a little bit better for those times where we may not have them. Right now, look at the hurricanes just hit Florida. Good example. The well is dry, and now the worth of certain things definitely has gone up, and people are realizing it. And it affects all over. Affected right here in Missoula, Montana, by the hurricanes down south. You're like, what? How are you affected, Alain? Yesterday, during my wife's chemo, they didn't have the saline bags to put the Benadryl and the steroids that they normally hang with the saline and drip through the port that she has, put into her right here. And that's because of the hurricanes. If you look all over the country, they are postponing elective surgeries because they don't have the saline. A couple of the major saline places that produce this and ship it to around the country are in North Carolina and Florida. So hospitals all over the country right now are postponing elective surgeries because of a shortage of saline. Yesterday, during the chemo, they couldn't do the Benadryl and the steroid in the saline bags and drip through her port. Instead, he had to take the syringe of the drug and just push it, put the syringe up to the port and push it manually. And he did it slow because he didn't want to just get all that stuff, the Benadryl and the steroid in a little quick time. So he had to push it slow, but it was still quicker than when it's in the saline and going in that way. So just sort of weird how you don't think about how a hurricane down south is going to affect us here in Missoula, Montana, but there was that little effect. It changed the procedure for my wife's chemo yesterday. It is postponing surgeries all over the country. That's just one little example. There are other ripple effects from storms like that, from different things that happen that affect people all over. We are so interconnected. And that's really brings home this quote, when the well's dry, we know the worth of water. Because our well can go dry for something that happens across the world. And we don't always have control over what happens because we're so interconnected. And that's why it's important to be prepared. It's important to do our best to be prepared for if the well goes dry, that we have those backup sources. Just something to think about today. And I was thinking about it a little bit as the procedure yesterday was changed because of the hurricanes down south, as I saw the news about the surgeries being postponed because of the hurricanes down south, and just thinking about how interconnected we are all over the world, and how different things affect all of us, and how that necessitates being prepared at times. Good morning, Dixon. Dixon's here. Dixon says, I like to think of all Americans as one big happy family, smiley face. I wish we were. I would like to think we were too. But I think we're sort of a dysfunctional family at times. And I'd like to see us be a little bit more big and happy family, helping each other, getting along, working toward the best of the country. That's what we should be doing. Appreciate that, Dixon. I'm going to get off here and get back to work. Just about finishing up the 101 additional safety and self-defense tips, the third book in that series. If you haven't read the first two, they're available on Amazon right now. Get them. Third one will be out really soon. Lots of good tips by a bunch of different authors. 101 different books in each of the books. Different tips on staying safe, defending yourself, survival. Check it out. You might also find some really good books you want to add to your library. That's a dual purpose of these tip books. They're on Kindle, on Amazon. The first two you can get now. The third one you'll get soon. And if you want a free ebook, go to enjoylifesafely.com. You can get the free ebooks. You'll also get the newsletter. We'll be putting that out this weekend. Information to make your life better. How you can enjoy life, stay safe, defend yourself if you have to, and be exceptional. Don't miss out. Get it now. Make it a fantastic Friday, and I will see you tomorrow.